Pop culture has a specific image of King John, the sniveling coward of Robin Hood lore. We remember him as an incompetent, universally despised monarch. This pathetic caricature stands in total opposition to the legendary status of his greatest defeat, the Magna Carta. We view it as a visionary leap toward modern democracy. This is the American Declaration of Independence. Most of us assume the Magna Carta looks and reads just like this, a document filled with resonant, inspiring statements of human rights. We routinely attribute modern legal rights to the document, specifically the invention of trial by jury and the establishment of habeas corpus. This presents a historical paradox. If King John was truly a cowardly, inept ruler, his reign sits at the center of the most influential secular legal document in history. The visual reality of the actual Magna Carta is an impenetrable wall of dense Latin script. There are no grand democratic principles here. It is a bureaucratic list of feudal grievances, obsessed with inheritance taxes, property rules, and the removal of fishweirs. Historically, the document was a disaster. Within a few months of its signing, the Pope entirely annulled the agreement because the king had entered into it under duress. The global legacy of a document that was a hyper-local, instantly voided failure is a mystery. Solving it requires investigating the men who actually met at Runnymede. King John's terrible reputation persists because his history was written almost entirely by his political enemies. The chroniclers and monks of St. Albans authored a multi-century smear campaign against the king to suit their own political ends. Stripping away the monks' propaganda reveals a highly energetic, formidable, and ruthless monarch. The real King John possessed a violent personality and a sharp intellect. He was a man of action who intimately understood the absolute power of the crown and showed no interest in compromise. Viewing John as a capable autocrat changes the dynamic of the events at Runnymede. The barons weren't bullying a weakling, they were trying to corner a dangerous executive. The popular image of the noble barons as civil rights activists is a total myth. These men were a cartel of self-interested oligarchs. They rebelled because a highly effective king successfully curtailed their personal feudal wealth and inherited privileges. At Runnymede, their draftsmen hastily ransacked old Anglo-Saxon archives to find any legal precedent they could use to check the king's influence. Chapters 39 and 40 functioned as pragmatic mechanisms designed to physically restrain an unstoppable executive's arbitrary power. Runnymede was a realpolitik turf war between a terrifying executive and a greedy oligarchy. The historical weight of Runnymede doesn't come from soaring ideals. It comes from the fact that a monarch as ruthlessly absolutist as King John was forced to make a concession at all. John entered that meadow as a ruler who acknowledged no secular superior. His spoken word was the absolute law of the land. He left having acknowledged in writing that there were specific boundaries even he could not cross. This forced concession survived the immediate annulment of the treaty. It became a benchmark for 17th century parliamentarians and American revolutionaries alike. Selfish men fighting a terrifying king accidentally established the principle that the law is above you. It is an enduring irony that the cornerstone of modern rights was forged in a 13th century turf war.